Hello, my name is Dwayne Kimball, owner and founder of KMD89 VA Claims Consulting, Leave No Vet Behind, and also I'm a United States Army veteran. Today, I'm going to be talking about a topic as it pertains to the VA disability compensation claims process. And that topic is DBQs. I'm doing a follow-up from a previous video based on some information that I found. So before we get into that, I wanted to say thank you to all the subscribers and the new subscribers that subscribed this week. Thanks to everybody that left a comment. I'm trying to reply to each comment individually. So if I haven't done so, please excuse me. I'm trying to get around to doing it because I want to make sure that I say thank you and show my appreciation for you leaving a comment. So with that being said, I hope everyone is being safe during this whole coronavirus pandemic and practicing social distancing. So let's get right into it. Back on the end of April, the VA removed all the disability benefit questionnaires from their website. And a lot of people were scrambling, trying to figure out what do they do, can they still use them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I went back to the particular location on the VA's website where they had the disability benefit questionnaires, also known as DBQs. And at the bottom, this is what they said. So I'm going to pull it up now so you can see it. So what they're saying, VBA has discontinued the use of public-facing disability benefit questionnaires, and that they were originally public-facing DBQs were designed to assist veterans living overseas. When I worked at the VA, I don't remember them sending out the email. They were saying due to the backlog at the time, that's why they created these DBQs. But nonetheless, they removed them from their website. And they're still out there. Some are outdated, some haven't expired, but you still can find some out there on the internet. But what I did was I went back in the M21, that's one of the regulations that the VA employees follow, and I did some research. And I looked at what changed. Did they change any information on any particular regulations as it pertains to DBQs? And there was one, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that DBQ, I'm sorry, not the DBQ, but I'm gonna pull that regulation up now so you can see it. So what that regulation states is, you can see, I highlighted in red, in the regulation is definition of DBQs, okay? Disability benefit questionnaires are documents used to elicit medical information needed to make decisions on claims and provide a standardized report format for medical examinations and opinions, okay? So at the bottom of that, I highlighted the sentence in red, and the sentence reads, the majority of DBQs are also approved for public use by private providers. Now, the other screenshot that I showed you, they said that they removed all the DBQs. Now, if you look at what's below that, you'll see where it says change date April 10th, 2020. That's the same regulation, the same M21 regulation. But what's different, the VA removed on April 10th, they're saying they did it on April 10th. I think it was after that because I was monitoring this regulation daily to see when they were going to do this change to this particular regulation. In the bottom definition of the disability benefit questionnaire, the sentence, the majority of DBQs are also approved for public use by private providers, has been removed. And so they show a change date of April 10th, 2020. So that's one change that you want to be aware of. But then that made me curious because there's more M21 regulations that pertains to disability benefit questionnaires. And I want to see if they removed private providers, non-VA healthcare providers from those particular M21 regulations. And I was kind of surprised at this, and I'm going to show you. So please look at the next slide, okay? And in the next slide, or the next regulation, it states use and acceptance of DBQs for VA examination and opinion purposes. Okay, so I'm not going to read through this entire VA regulation. All these I'm going to post down in the description section so you can read them, but I don't think they'll come out in red. But what I highlighted in red here is important, okay? Because it says a DBQ or other medical opinion report completed by a VA or, here we go, or private healthcare provider, okay? So that means you have one VA regulation contradicting another one. And I think with the VA being closed and majority of employees are working from home, they just haven't got around to changing all of these regulations. So you might ask yourself, what does that mean for you? There hasn't been a confirmed directive or anything on the VA's website saying we're totally not accepting DBQs, other than what's in that first picture that I sent you, what they have on their website, on the link that DBQs used to be posted, saying that they removed them from their website, okay? So I'm going to show you another VA regulation. So what we're looking at now, we're looking at processing additional correspondence received with a prescribed form, okay? So let's talk about, we know what a correspondence is, and so in the context that I'm talking about today, that correspondence is the DBQ. And the regulation states processing additional correspondence received with a prescribed form. What they're talking about, prescribed form, is like a VA form 21-526CZ, a VA form 20-0995, a formal claim form. That's a prescribed form. But again, if you look down to what I highlighted in red, in bold, it states medical evidence submitted with a claim such as a private or VA treatment records or disability benefit questionnaires. So there it is again, private, used in conjunction with DBQs, okay? Again, it took some time to find these regulations, but I definitely, I wanted to dig and find as many as I could to share with you, so that way you can see what exactly the VA employees are looking at as it pertains to the VA disability benefit questionnaires. Okay, again, I'm going to share, this is the last regulation I'm going to share with you. So again, please pay close attention to what I highlighted in red, okay? And I'll just read that part and not the entire regulation. So it states, reviewing evidence before determining an examination is necessary. Now this is key because a lot of clients of mine had DBQs completed. They were sufficient for rating purposes. They submitted them, and the VA still scheduled an exam. Why they're doing that, I don't know. I can only assume that person was new. They didn't really know what they were doing. They weren't familiar with this M21 regulation. But again, this was before the VA removed those DBQs from their website. So what I highlighted in red, it reads, to illustrate the principle, the regulation adds that a disability benefit questionnaire, a private physician's report, or private medical opinion can be used to decide a claim without an examination if adequate for rating purposes. So again, it's saying it's disability benefit questionnaires, a private physician's report. Now, you can state that. Ask yourself, okay, what is a private physician's report? If you take information, those questions from a DBQ, and your doctor put them on a letterhead, and he or she answers them, that's private medical records. That information is sufficient for rating purposes. Okay, so when reviewing these regulations, you want to pay attention to the wording. So, like I said, I'm going to put all these regulations that I just discussed in the description section of this video, and read through all of them. Take the time to read through all of them and just see where, the keywords you're going to be looking for: disability benefit questionnaires and private provider, non-VA healthcare provider. Those are the three keywords that you want to be looking for. Because like I said, I don't think when I upload them to the description section here in YouTube, it's not going to turn that section red. So just read through it, and those are the three keywords that you want to be looking for. So by now, you might be asking yourself, what does that mean for me? Can I complete a DBQ? Can I submit it? Now, this is just my personal feelings. There's no regulation states that you can or you can't. They just said on the VA just said on their website, that they removed the DBQs from the website. They did not say that you couldn't submit them. Now, if you do so, keep in mind, and I've done videos on this, and I talked about it extensively, telehealth and telemental. If you haven't saw the video on that, go back and look at it. It's called VA Claims, Telehealth, and Telemental. An exam completed by telehealth or telemental, they can kick it back for that particular reason, okay? So you definitely want to keep that in mind. They can kick it back saying that it's insufficient for VA rating purposes, and then one of the options they have is scheduling a competent paying exam for you, okay? So again, go back, if you already haven't, go back and look at the video that I did about telehealth and telemental. And also, if you have a DBQ, look in the top right-hand corner and find the expiration date. And if the date has expired and you have your private physician completed, it's insufficient, okay? I did a video on DBQs, and I noted a particular DBQ, the migraine DBQ, it expired September 19th of 2019, but it was in September 2019 last year, and it's expired. And I did a video about it, and I circled where to find it and so forth. So you definitely want to go back and look at those videos. But again, nothing is stopping you from taking the information off of DBQ and your doctor putting it on a letterhead and submitting it. They didn't say that. And it's still the same questions that's on the DBQ, and it's good for rating purposes because the same questions that the rating specialists, when they go into the VBMS system to complete the rating, those same questions are in there. So why wouldn't that information that's coming from your private physician be insufficient? So again, the last regulation that I showed where it talks about reviewing evidence before determining an examination. Now also, if you do that, then it's a way you want to word it because you want to lead them down a path instead of them leaving it up to them to go and look for this regulation. Like I said in my other videos, some example wording that I use definitely helped me. Some particular wording that I used for my claim made it, I think, a lot easier for the individual as it became apparent to what I was trying to claim and how I was trying to claim it, okay? So the wording is key. Second, they're on a quota, so you don't want them assuming what you're claiming, how you're claiming, so forth. So if you're familiar with these regulations, even in the past, I even put, when I was claiming things and I used the VA form 21-4138 along with a prescribed form, I went through and made sure certain regulations I put in there that they had to follow because they're on a quota, might be a new person, they may not know all the ins and outs of the VA claims process, so I want to help them, okay? I hear a lot of people, they just say, oh, they have to do this or they have to do that. Remember, it's a human factor, they're on a quota, and they're rushing. So you want to make their job easier by just taking the extra time, doing your due diligence, and getting educated on the VA claims process and making sure the wording is correct and making sure whatever evidence you're submitting is sufficient for rating purposes, okay? So I cannot stress that enough. I get a lot of phone calls, and especially about DBQs, and the question I ask them, you know, what DBQ are you looking for? Is it expired? Are you doing it by telehealth or telemental? Okay, if it's expired, if they tell me it's expired and they're doing it by telehealth or telemental, I guide them to that particular regulation, because it's just not me saying it, okay? It's a VA regulation, okay? Everything I'm talking about is based on a VA regulation. So it's not what I'm saying, it's something that I can prove as well, and I prove it by showing or sharing that that particular VA regulation as it pertains to the telehealth and telemental to the veteran that called me. So again, you definitely want to make sure you get educated and you understand the VA claims process, and more so understand how it's going to impact what you're trying to do, whether it be a new claim, an increase, secondary, or presumptive, okay? You have to get educated. I can't, stress that enough. Get educated. If it's still confusing to you, reach out to someone that you feel comfortable with, that is educated on the process, and just ask some questions, okay? Always ask questions, okay? So with that being said, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Thank you for your service. Continue to be safe. If you have any questions, please give me a call. My number is 855-765-3137. You can set up a free 15-minute consultation through my website, which is KMD89.com, Kilo Mike Delta 89.com. And also, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you can get notified of future educational videos that I post. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next educational video. Thank you.